Hey gamers, I am Snestastic. Hope we're all well, guys. Great to be back with another video. And yes, I'm back with more Super Nintendo goodness. More from Snestastic. As you know from the previous two videos, I've picked up a good selection of games, boxed and complete from Pete, to add to my own collection. So I've been going through each video a good selection of games, and I've got another 6 for you. After this, there'll be one more video with a few more games and a few peripherals that I managed to snag off Pete as well, and that was also a goodwill gesture, so we'll get to them in the last video. But as I say, we got another 6 great games to show you, boxed and complete. So let's crack on, guys, and let's start with game number 1. Now the first game is Playing Behind Me, and this is not a bad side-scrolling action beat-em-up, to be honest. Something I've never heard of until Pete actually showed us the first time round. And the game I'm talking about is Jim Lee's Wildcats. Condition is absolutely pristine. He bought it brand new. But the game itself, as I say, is not a bad side-scrolling action beat-em-up. A set of characters and comic book characters I've never actually heard of. It was supposed to be quite big, and they also had their own Saturday morning cartoon show back in the early 90s. So, as I say, I've never heard of it. I think more so it was more for the American audience, I'm assuming, because I've never seen this cartoon. And to be honest, I could actually check it up on YouTube, see what it was like. But game itself, not a bad game at all. Graphically, you know, I've seen better. But, you know, you've got a good selection of characters with all different types of fighting skills. So you got a good selection, but it is quite tough. I've only ever got to the first boss, and I just can't get past it. It is quite a tough little cookie. But as I say, game-wise, you know, as a side-scrolling beats them up, you know, there are better out there, but I'm not arguing with the fact that it's another good side-scrolling beat 'em up that I've added to my Super Nintendo collection. So that's the first one, guys. That is Jim Lee's Wildcats. Now, the next 5 are going to be a bit of a theme, and you'll know that as soon as I pick it up. They're all going to be from one genre. A favourite genre of mine, which I've always preferred. Everybody likes the shoot-em-ups. Me, I'm more of a fighting fan. So the next 5 are going to be fighting games. And now the next one that I've got is one of a trilogy for the Super Nintendo. I'm only ever going to get the first 2 because after number 3, I really did. After number 2, I wasn't keen on the third one. But I wanted to get this back. I've had this back in the day, and I sold it, and I'm glad I've got it back again. And it is Mortal Kombat 2. Absolutely fantastic game. This is definitely the better of the 3 games. The first one was a bit of a letdown. There's a lot missing from it. Graphically, presentation wasn't great, but this much improved over the first. A lot more secrets. Graphically, far superior. A lot more characters also added into the roster, which does make a vast improvement. And as I say, there's a lot more death moves, vitalities, you name it. This game's got it. And I had endless hours playing this when I first originally had this, and to get this back again, finally, I took my time to get it, but I'm very, very happy to have this back because I absolutely love this game, love this style of fighting game. You know, there's people that probably think that, no, I'm not too keen, prefer a Street Fighter, because this is slightly different in terms of fighting style, but Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are equally as good as far as I'm concerned, but this by far is the best in the series for me, and an absolutely must for any fighting fan. So that is Mortal Kombat 2. Now the next one, I originally still own this on the Super Famicom, which is called Dead Dance. Had a bit of a rejig in the name in America, and this one is quite a difficult game to pick up in the condition that I've got it in. It's very hard to find in good condition, boxed and complete. So the one I'm talking about is this one, and as you can see, the name is changed. It's called Hey Punk, Are You Tough Enough? And this is made by Jalico. So don't expect the best fighting game in the world, but I'm not arguing. It still is really quite a good little challenging fighter, one-on-one fighter. I think you got 4 selected characters you can use within the story mode. Plus, you've also got a one-on-one where you can play 2 players. So, you know, this game is good for what it is. But as I say, to find a copy in very good condition is very, very hard to come by lately. But as I say, I'm glad to have this. I'll always keep the Super Famicom version, but I really like this one because I just like the variants sometimes. As I say, they've changed the name. The game hasn't changed as such, but it's just nice to have the different variant, but a very hard to come by one at that. But as I say, game-wise, not too bad at all, but not the greatest. But still a brilliant one to add to the collection. So that is Hey Punk, Are You Tough Enough? Now the next one is one I've already got. In fact, I've already got the next three on the Neo Geo, but I just couldn't resist and get them again on the Super Nintendo. And the first one I'm talking about is Fatal Fury, the original Fatal Fury. It's not the best in the series by any means, but still, graphically, I think slightly better than the Mega Drive version, I must admit. But for some reason, I don't know what it is about the Fatal Fury series, I actually find the fighting mechanics and the moves quite frustrating. I don't know why. They got far easier when these guys went to the likes of the King of the Fighters series, and the moves become more fluid, more easier, more accessible. But on this version of this game, especially for me, trying to pull off the moves and beat some of the characters are, it is a real pain, to be honest. But still, perseverance is the key, as I've always said. But still a great game to have in the collection, and an absolutely pristine condition at that. So the other two will be following shortly next year. But that's Fatal Fury. Flying through these, I know, guys. Bloody alright. I might squeeze some more in. Right, the next one is yet another Neo Geo classic and another first in the series. And the one I'm talking about is this one, which is an absolutely pristine copy of Samurai Showdown. This is just basically a brand new game, and it is in such good condition. Now, graphically, it is a very good port of this game. The only disappointment for me I found about this game is the added music that they've added into it, where the original Neo Geo just had its typical, just about here in the background, Japanese style music. They've in this they've added some westernized music in the background, and it totally kind of ruins the feel of the game slightly. But as I say, graphically, it's a great port, but the characters are reduced in size, obviously to fit the game on the cart as such. But there's such a lot going on in the game. The game is fluid. It plays purely like a classic Samurai Shodown game. But as I say, with the added music in it, it just kind of took the edge away off the game. But still, not disappointed. Still a worthy title to have in the collection. And that is Samurai Shodown. And then the next one we have is, as far as I'm concerned, a fantastic one-on-one fighting game. Always love this game. And it is The Art of Fighting. And this game is a great transfer from the Neo Geo. Music's the same. Graphically, they haven't really taken much away from this in terms of playability and such. Plays really, really well. As I say, this can be a difficult game. It's to be honest, it's not that hard on the Neo Geo once you master the moves. It's just second nature to you. But on the Super Nintendo, it does take a little bit more practice to get the idea of the game mechanics and how the actual game plays. But still, a brilliant transfer from the Neo Geo to the Super Nintendo. And it's a shame they never really brought the sequel out on the NTSC version. I've got both versions on the Super Famicom, one at Art Fighting 1 and Art Fighting 2. And Art of Fighting 2 on the Super Famicom plays really, really well. And it's another great transfer from the Neo Geo. But why they never brought the sequel out is beyond me. But still, very, very happy to have this one. And that is The Art of Fighting. Right, believe it or not, that is them all. But shall I show you one more? Yeah, I'll squeeze one more in. Let's have a look. Okay then. Yeah, I'll squeeze this one in. Now this one was a not part of the collection originally. This one was going to be. I didn't actually add it into the collection when I actually asked. When he asked me what games I wanted, I didn't add this into the collection. And then I seen him. He put it up for sale. And then I was looking at it for about 2 days, 3 days, and I thought, you know what? I'm missing out if I don't buy that game, because it is, after me buying it, it is an excellent game. I really, probably one of the most enjoyed games that I've had off Pete, to be honest. And I snagged it at a fantastic price, as per usual, as Pete does. But I picked up Biker Mice from Mars. Now, this game, I was unsure about, because I watched gameplay on the YouTube, and I didn't know what to make of it. But I absolutely adore this game. It is such a fantastic, it's like a semi-top-down racing game. If you played Rock and Roll Racing, this is very, very similar to that. The controls at first, getting used to the idea of the controls of the bikes or the vehicles when you actually play this, is quite weird at first, but once you get the hang of the idea and get used to the idea of the controls, this game is a cracking game, an absolutely must. And this is yet another one of those games that is very difficult to come by in this condition. So I'm really, really glad I changed my mind, and I asked Pete for this game, because it is such a fantastic game, and obviously a Konami title. They don't mess about, and as I say, believe it or not, I've never really watched this cartoon. I never really took much notice of it when it was popular in its day, but the actual game itself plays absolutely superb, and it's definitely one of my favourites at the bunch of games that I bought from Pete, without question. But an absolute must. If you haven't played it, you're into your racing games, give this a shot, guys. It's absolutely such a good title. But that, guys, is the Biker Mice from Mars. And now I am definitely going to call it quits there, guys. So I've thrown in the extra game. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen there, guys. Another 7 fantastic games to add to my collection. And I'll leave it there, as per usual. So I'll see you in the next video, guys, for the last few games and the few peripherals that I had off Pete. So, guys, thanks very much for watching. And as per usual, I am Snestastic. Keep playing, guys. Keep watching. All the best.